Samsung has successfully dominated the smartphone market across the world, alongside Apple iPhones. Samsung could dominate the market in some European countries like Germany and France. In the United States, Samsung is second in the market, just behind Apple, but they are still doing great with 24%, which is similar to how they perform globally. But unfortunately, not every country could really fit with this smartphone brand for some reason. While Samsung smartphones got 70% market share in its home country, South Korea, its neighboring country Japan had some difficult times with this South Korean brand. At some point, Samsung only got below 5% market share in Japan. There were also times when Samsung dropped their Samsung Galaxy branding in Japan. Instead, just Galaxy. Yeah, without Samsung branding. The decision to drop the Samsung branding in Japan was made following tense diplomatic ties between South Korea and Japan since 2012. This situation likely caused the Samsung market share in Japan, which was more than 10% in 2013, to plummet to 3.4% in 2016. The Galaxy branding in Japan has started at least since 2015. Galaxy S6 in Japan, which was released on April 23, 2015, got a Galaxy logo instead of Samsung. The Japanese Samsung website has also dropped the Samsung logo since April 6, 2015. Galaxy has replaced the name and logo of everything associated with Samsung in Japan. Even further, a year later, Samsung decided to remove some Japanese elements from their phones, which of course worsened the situation for Samsung in Japan. So, what have they done? Back in 2016, Samsung used a user interface called TouchWiz on their smartphones, which was then replaced by the Samsung Experience in late 2016 and One UI in 2018. But here, we're talking about the specific version of TouchWiz, the TouchWiz 6.0. When TouchWiz 6.0 was released, there were some Japanese-related emojis, which seems odd. This Tokyo Tower emoji on iOS would appear like this on a Samsung phone with TouchWiz 6.0. It doesn't look anything like Tokyo Tower, I guess. Even worse, the Japan map emoji isn't even recognized, and the Japan cross flag emoji would appear as a South Korean flag. Later, when TouchWiz got updated to version 7.1 in August 2016, Samsung decided to remove those emojis. So, those emojis wouldn't even be recognized on Samsung phones during that time. Then, after more than a year, the Japan cross flag emoji, along with two other Japanese-related emojis, made a comeback in September 2017 after Samsung Experience 8.5 update. But here's the interesting part. After experiencing the downfall in Japan, surprisingly, several years later, Samsung started to rise in Japan after being the first to develop a smartphone with the newest technology at the time, the 5G. In second quarter of 2019, Samsung hit a 6-year high with a 9.8% market share in Japan. This surge is related to strong sales of the Galaxy S10, which supports 5G. During that time, a large portion of Japan's 5G network rollout is being targeted by Samsung as the country's mobile providers are getting ready for the Tokyo Olympics, followed by the opening of the largest Galaxy Showcase store in Tokyo in March 2019. The robust marketing of 5G by mobile carriers in Japan contributed significantly to Samsung's sales in Japan. When KDDI launched its 28 GHz millimeter wave 5G service in 2020, the Galaxy S20 series was the only device ready for that technology in Japan, resulting in the success of S20 series. This success of the S20 series in Japan was followed by S21, S22, and so on. As a result, Samsung hit 13.5% of market share in early 2022. Finally, a year later, in February 2023, Samsung started to bring back its original branding to the Japanese market when the people began to forget about the past. And there you have it, the rise and fall of Samsung smartphones in Japan. What do you guys think?